Hey everybody, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're getting you prepped for that big department head interview.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a great jumping off point for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Indeed.com's interview questions and answers for a department head.
Perfect.
So it's like having a cheat sheet, but with like way more insights and analysis.
Absolutely.
So you're not just going to be walking into that interview informed, you're going to be walking in with a strategic edge.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Okay, so the article highlights 3 key areas that interviewers are going to really hone in on, and I gotta say, they're spot on.
Uh-huh.
The first one is leadership,
Right.
and it's so much more than just being in charge.
It really is. There's a whole spectrum of different leadership styles, from transformational leadership
Yeah.
to democratic leadership and everything in between.
Right.
And the interesting thing is that you're going to want to tailor your answers to the company's specific culture.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. Do your research on the company's leadership team.
Yeah.
Maybe check out their mission statement or any public statements that they've made.
Sure.
Just get a feel for their values and try and see if you can demonstrate how your leadership style aligns with theirs.
So it's almost like learning their leadership language,
Exactly.
and then you can speak it fluently in the interview.
That's a great way to put it.
I like that. All right, next up is industry knowledge.
Yes,
Again, going deeper than just rattling off facts and figures.
absolutely. You want to demonstrate insightful understanding. You can know all the rules of a game,
Right,
but that doesn't make you a strategic player.
for sure.
So when you're talking about your industry knowledge, make sure that you're highlighting your ability to analyze trends, anticipate challenges, and offer, those strategic insights,
Yeah.
basically showing them that you're not just keeping up, you're thinking ahead.
You're ahead of the game,
Right.
which makes you more valuable.
Exactly.
Okay, last but certainly not least, we've got communication.
Uh-huh.
Always important. But how do we take this beyond just saying, I'm a good communicator?
Yeah, you want to be able to really showcase your ability to tailor your communication style to different audiences.
Okay.
Think about it. You communicate differently with your team than you
Yeah.
do with your boss,
Right.
than you do with stakeholders.
Absolutely.
And what's really powerful is having those concrete examples
Yeah.
of how you've done this effectively.
So instead of saying, I'm a great communicator, you'd give a specific example. Like, oh, when I had to explain this complex technical issue to this non-technical team,
Exactly.
I used this approach, and bam, you hit them with a real-world scenario.
Exactly. Those kinds of examples really make your skills come alive for the interviewer.
Yeah.
Now, what's great about this Indeed article is that it doesn't just stop at these general concepts.
Right.
It actually dives into real interview questions.
Okay.
It gives some sample answers.
It's like getting a sneak peek into the interviewer's playbook.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack a few of these. One that always seems to come up is conflict resolution. And the sample answer they give really focuses on promoting open communication and early intervention.
Yeah, and what's key there is that it shows you're a proactive leader.
Okay.
You're not just waiting for conflicts to erupt.
Right.
You're actively fostering a healthy team dynamic where issues can be addressed openly
Yeah.
and resolved quickly.
It's all about that trust and transparency within the team.
Exactly.
Okay, another common one focuses on leadership style.
Yeah.
The example they provide describes someone as a transformational leader,
Uh-huh.
which, sounds impressive.
Sure.
But what does it actually mean, like, in practice?
Well, what really stands out to me in this article is the emphasis on personal growth for the team.
Okay.
It's not just about benefiting the company. It's
Yeah.
about empowering those team members to develop their own potential.
I love that they highlighted that because
Yeah.
it really shows like a deeper understanding of leadership.
Yeah.
It shows that you're invested in your team as people,
For sure.
not just employees.
Exactly.
Okay, let's tackle a tough one.
Okay.
The article gives an example of being asked about a difficult decision,
Yeah.
like having to fire a team member.
Oof. That's never easy.
I think a lot of people dread even thinking about that.
Yeah.
But the way they frame the answer is interesting.
Uh-huh.
They focus on the positive impact of the decision.
Okay.
So, like how it led to improved productivity and a healthier team environment.
Yeah, that's crucial.
Yeah.
Yes, those situations are never easy.
Right.
But it's about showing that you can make those tough calls while always keeping the best interests of the team and the organization at the forefront.
Okay, so we've got leadership, industry, knowledge, communication, and some sample answers for those common questions.
Yeah.
But the article doesn't stop there.
It doesn't.
It throws in some extra questions just to make you think more deeply.
Those are great.
Yeah.
They really push you to think about different scenarios and challenges that you might face as a department head, and, come up with your own approach.
Like, how would you deal with a difficult employee? Or what about if a project suddenly goes off the rails?
Right. Those are the curveballs they're throwing at you.
Yeah.
But the point is to think through your response ahead of time so you're not caught off guard in the interview.
Right. And have that answer ready to go. It's like having that toolbox,
Exactly.
full of strategies.
Yeah.
And you can just pull out the right one
Right.
when you need it.
Yes.
So we've covered the key areas they're looking for. We've looked at some sample answers, but there's one more thing the article emphasizes that I think is super important.
Okay.
And that's this idea that preparation goes beyond just memorizing answers.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the why behind those questions and really connecting the dots.
That's such a crucial point.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to be able to connect your experiences and your skills
Yeah,
to the specific needs of the role in the company.
right.
It's about telling a cohesive story about yourself as a leader.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this leadership story.
Well, think of it this way. You're showcasing your ability to think strategically, solve problems, inspire others.
Okay.
Each answer you give is like a chapter in this story.
Right.
And it all needs to flow together authentically
Right.
and compellingly.
So it's not about pretending to be someone you're not.
Exactly.
It's about really highlighting your genuine strengths
Yes.
and how they make you the perfect fit
Ah.
for this particular department.
Exactly. So let's get practical here.
Okay.
What are some actionable steps that our listener can take
Yeah.
to really nail this interview prep and craft that compelling leadership story?
Let's hear it.
First, I would say dive deep into that company culture.
Okay.
Read their mission statement, browse their website, even check out their social media.
Yeah.
Just get a feel for who they are, what they value, what their overall vibe is.
It's like doing a recon before a mission, right?
Exactly. You need to know the terrain
Yeah.
and the players.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's next?
Next, I would suggest taking some time to review your own experiences.
And really pinpoint those specific examples that showcase your leadership skills.
Gotcha.
Think about times you've successfully navigated conflict, motivated a team, or made those tough decisions that ultimately had a positive impact.
And it doesn't have to be these big dramatic moments, right?
No, absolutely not.
Sometimes it's the smaller, everyday examples that can be just as powerful.
Absolutely. It could be something as simple as how you mentored a team member who was struggling, or how you implemented a new process that streamlined things and made everyone's lives easier.
Yeah, as long as you can clearly articulate the why behind your actions
Right.
and the positive result that came from it.
You want to be able to clearly lay out the challenge, your approach, and the results that you achieved.
Okay.
Having that structure makes your answers more concise
Yeah.
and impactful. Now, I know some people get nervous about sounding too rehearsed,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
robotic in interviews.
Nobody wants to sound like they're reading from a script.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Preparation doesn't equal memorization.
Mhm.
It's about deeply understanding your own story and being able to adapt it to different questions and situations.
So it's more like having that mental framework
Yes.
rather than a rigid script.
Exactly. You know your story, you know your strengths,
Yeah.
and you can weave them into the conversation naturally.
Right. Okay, cool.
Exactly. And remember, the interviewer wants to get to know the real you.
Yeah.
So let your personality shine through. Be enthusiastic, be passionate, and most importantly, be yourself.
Enthusiasm is contagious,
It is.
and it shows that you're genuinely interested in the role in the company.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about anticipating potential questions.
Yes, this is where those extra questions at the end of the article come in handy.
Yep.
They're like mini case studies
Okay.
designed to make you think critically
Right.
about different scenarios and challenges you might face as a department head.
Like, how would you handle a project that's falling behind schedule?
Exactly.
Or how would you address a team member who's consistently underperforming?
Right? These are tough questions, but they're also opportunities to showcase your problem-solving skills and your ability to think on your feet.
So it's not about having all the answers.
Right?
It's about showing them that you have a thoughtful and strategic approach.
Exactly. And remember, there's no one right answer.
Right.
The interviewer is more interested in seeing how you think, how you communicate, and how you approach problem solving.
I like that.
Now, before we wrap up this section, I want to touch on something that I think is particularly relevant for department head roles,
Okay.
demonstrating a commitment to continuous learning.
Oh, that's a great point, because the world is changing so fast these days, especially in the tech world. Being a lifelong learner is essential,
It is.
especially for someone in a leadership role.
It really is. Industries are constantly evolving,
Yeah.
and the best leaders are the ones who are committed to staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Now, the article mentions staying updated on industry trends by reading publications and attending conferences, which are all great. But what are some other ways that our listener can demonstrate that commitment to growth?
Yeah. What about those of us who aren't big on conferences?
There are so many options.
Mhm.
Online courses, workshops, webinars, even mentorship programs.
Ooh, yeah.
The key is to be proactive and show that you're actively investing in your own development.
It's all about showcasing that you're a lifelong learner, always eager to expand your knowledge and skill set.
Exactly.
Okay, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
Okay.
Preparing for an interview isn't just about getting the job.
Right.
It's also about making sure that this job is the right fit for you.
That's such a fantastic point.
Yeah.
An interview is a two-way street.
Yeah.
You're assessing the company just as much as they're assessing you.
So use this preparation time to not only showcase your skills and experience, but also to ask thoughtful questions and gather information.
Yeah.
That will help you determine if this role and this company align with your career goals and aspirations.
Because at the end of the day, finding the right fit is about more than just landing a job.
Right.
It's about finding a place where you can thrive, grow, and make a meaningful contribution, which leads us perfectly
Yes.
to our final thoughts.
All right, so we've covered a ton in this deep dive.
We have.
From those 3 key areas, leadership, industry, knowledge, communication, to, really breaking down those questions,
Yeah.
giving you some sample answers.
For sure.
We've given you like a full toolkit to rock that interview.
We really have.
And, we've also talked about the importance of not just memorizing those answers, but really understanding why they're asking you these questions
Right.
and crafting that leadership story.
Yeah, and making sure it's the
Yeah.
right fit for you.
Right, exactly. Because that interview is a two-way street.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I'm curious, what's that final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
It all comes down to this, acing this interview isn't just about having the right answers. It's about, showcasing those inherent qualities that make you a strong leader.
Yes.
It's about letting your passion, your drive, your vision shine through.
It's about showing them who you are as a leader,
Exactly.
not just reciting what you think they want to hear.
Right. So as you do that final prep, I encourage you to think about those times, when you inspired a team, when you faced down a challenge or made a real difference.
Yeah.
Because, those stories, those experiences, that's what truly sets you apart.
That's what makes you memorable.
Right.
It makes you stand out.
So go into that interview, be confident, be yourself, and let your leadership shine through.
We are totally rooting for you.
We are.
And remember, this is just one step
It is.
in your leadership journey.
That's right.
Whether you land this particular role or not, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a positive impact.
Because that's what being a great leader is all about. And hey, who knows, maybe one day we'll be doing a deep dive on your leadership journey.
I would love to hear that.
Right here on this show.
Thanks for joining us today. We wish you the best of luck with that interview.
Absolutely. Best of luck.